Thanks a lot for tuning in into my review video for the Veto PAC MC tool bag review HVAC edition. And this is also the Special Ops edition. Not that that matters very much, because the only difference I think is that it just comes with 2 extra little baggies. Totally worth the price, right? Anyways, it's been a great bag, so let's jump right into the video. So obviously this isn't anything new at all, so I'm not going to get into the dimensions or anything, but I will just throw them up here so that you guys can see them in the video. But this is not the Tech Pack, this one is the Tech Pack MC. So this one is actually going to be smaller than the Tech Pack. And don't mistake it for the new infrared one that just came out. I think it's called the MCP. A little bit of a spoiler alert, I do want to purchase that bag in the next spring promotion. So that might be my next bag, because I feel like I'm starting to outgrow this bag. Although I do like the more compact style, as you guys have seen in my previous videos with my AC tool bag, which you guys can click the link in the description to watch that one as well. Starting with the exterior, I really like that it's a backpack format. I actually first saw this tool bag from a former coworker of mine, and I saw him wearing this. I actually thought it was kind of goofy. I thought it was kind of dorky to have a backpack, but as we started to do a little bit more commercial jobs together, going up on taller ladders and all that, I realized it's actually really convenient to have a backpack style. Now, the other reason that I really like having a backpack style, and this might be just a me problem, is that having just a shoulder bag actually started to make my back feel more off balance, and I was starting to get some disc issues. So I actually switched over to a backpack, and now everything has been even on my shoulders. So it's more so something that you just learn more long-term rather than short-term, but for comfort-wise, this bag has been great, especially compared to other backpacks. As you can see here, it has the foam padding. It's also very breathable, so I don't tend to sweat as bad as I thought I would on it, and it's been really comfortable holding up. I've had this bag for about a year now, so this will be my second heating season with it. Again, this is just going to be my heating bag, and I already did a review video on my cooling bag. The other feature that I like about this one is this metal piece here, which you can kind of hook onto a rope or a carabiner and haul your tool bag up in case if for some reason you don't want it on your shoulders. Typically I just carry it on me, but there's some patches out there that are really tiny where I can't fit my body and the whole tool bag on my back through, so this comes in handy in having it as well. But I think the main purpose of this is so that it doesn't put the strain on the straps and the zippers as well on here. I've been doing my best to maintain this tool bag. I make sure to clean it as often as I can, and to, of course, oil and lubricate the zippers, which is really critical on this one. The only bummer that kind of made me disappointed about this is this zipper here broke in a matter of a couple weeks, I believe. I do have a 5-year warranty on it, but I haven't sent it in yet just because I haven't really found a use for this pouch anyway. Like, I can only imagine just putting something in here, and this actually hurts my finger a lot right now, and I don't even have that big of hands. I can't imagine putting something in there and taking something out. If you guys have a good use for them, just let me know, because I don't have many ideas for it. So I'll start with this front pouch here, which I do change quite a bit. I just recently switched over to this Klein flashlight here, which has been a great flashlight, probably one of my favorites, because it actually has a hook here, and this is also magnetic as well. And of course it has different settings on it. When it turns off, not sure if you can tell in the video, it is actually glowing green right now. So you can see it in the dark. If it dies and you don't know where to go, you can find it that way. As an habit to me, I'm pretty good about battery management, but some people aren't. Going on the side here, I think this chain here was off of my other Veto bags. I always carry it on my main bag. Just got electrical tape and Teflon tape here. Got a knife here. It's probably one of my favorite knives, all because compared to the Milwaukee one, it doesn't go angled like this. And I really love that aspect. I feel like there's just a much better grip at cutting in a straight line. So I really like that. Klein added that. And of course they have all the other features that Milwaukee typically does as well. Got a couple brushes on the side, nothing too crazy. And then here, got a Sharpie, and probably the best mirror that I've had. It was super cheap on Amazon, and it actually lights up. I had it for over a year now, and I still haven't had to change the battery. I don't know what kind of battery it uses, but it actually works surprisingly well. Highly recommended. And just a reminder, guys, if you guys see anything in the video that you would like, leave a comment down in the comment section below to let me know which link you would like, and I will reply pretty quickly. All right, let's open the front here. starting off, what fits really well in here is the compact, impact, subcompact, I don't know what, it's all compact, new brushless Milwaukee impact driver. This is the new one that I believe came out this year. It's not the Fuel one. I have used the Fuel one. I still have it. I think that's a great drill, but this one, dimension wise, is actually even smaller. And some of you have said in previous videos that it's not that much of a difference. When you have a compact bag like this, it actually makes a huge difference. And using this impact driver compared to my Fuel one has made a huge difference in closing and opening my bag. I can feel that there is less tension on the zippers. And again, if you guys know Veto, you know that you gotta take care of the zippers. So this was fully worth it. Love it a lot. And there is a video down in the description below to go into detail about this impact driver as well. I'm just gonna start at the top row here. So I got my stubby Klein screwdriver. Pretty standard. Pretty much anytime you need just less distance, this guy is the go-to, especially working on boilers, especially HTPs, where the people that built them have very tiny hands and you have no idea how they put that thing together. The screwdriver helps a lot too. It's got a pretty standard step bit. It's nothing special. It's pretty cheap and it's lasted me a couple years now, which kind of makes me laugh because a lot of my coworkers bought like $50, $60 ones, and this one was probably like 10 bucks, and it's still sharp, still goes through sheet metal just fine. Just a little extension here with the 1/4 inch bit on here. This is something that I use very often, especially working on furnaces. And I keep this allocated here for trained furnaces, the new ones, specifically the S series, because they're with their newer doors, you can't just turn them by hand anymore. You need to have an Allen key. I don't know why they're deciding to devolve in that aspect. Beats me, but I just keep that in here because I don't like using a screwdriver and just stripping it out eventually. This is probably one of my top favorite tools. This one is made by Klein. It's a 90-degree ratchet, and I use this a lot on gas valves and pretty much anything. Again, especially on boilers and those tight areas, this thing has been reliable. I've had some smaller versions of this that were more convenient, but they were not very reliable. They would only last a few months, but this one from Klein that I have had the longest and I have not had any issues with it. Highly recommend it. And I keep this cute little crescent wrench in here, especially on working humidifiers. Really convenient to have that. And this one is also a Klein as well. It has multiple sizes. For all the way from 1/2 inch down to 1/4 inch. Really convenient, especially working on commercial units. You need a lot of different sizes, especially on extracting motors and whatnot. I got 2 pairs of Knipex. These are definitely my favorite. Before I started investing in nicer tools, I cheaped out a lot and got like knockoff versions of these. The teeth maybe only lasted 6 months. They were just brutalized. I finally bit the bullet and got Knipex. I can see why everyone raves how great Knipex is. These are the best adjustable pipe wrenches that I've ever had. Highly recommend them. That is probably my advice to younger technicians, is to not cheap out on tools. Just buy the nice tools that a senior technician advises you to buy, so that you buy once, you cry once, and then you don't have to buy it again. Then I got these linemen's, Milwaukee. Nothing special about them. I do like how heavy duty they are, and they get the job done. Got another Klein tool here for wire strippers and crimpers as well. And then for a multimeter, I use a Fluke. I believe in my AC tool bag, I use a field piece, but in this case, I use a Fluke because there's just a lot more troubleshooting processes I need to do that I believe a field piece can't do. And Fluke is probably #1 in the game, in my opinion. I also keep a pair of Milwaukee cut-proof gloves. Let's see, these are cut level 5. They do really well. I have a lot of cuts on my hands, but I always put gloves on after I get cuts on my hands. If you know, you know. Got some side cutters here, do the job. What brand is this? Work Pro? Hold on. Take 2. This is Work Pro. They get the job done. They're nothing special. This one, you know, I'm not too crazy about brands because I go through these quite a bit. And then these needle nose pliers have been my favorite. I think this is actually one of the very first tools that I ever bought. As you can see, they kind of have an angle to them. Not exactly 90 degrees. I do have a 90-degree version of it, but I think that's a little bit excessive. But this one has been perfect, especially for hose clamps on drain lines and whatnot. Working in tight furnaces, getting in those awkward positions. Pretty standard crescent wrench, nothing special. This is I probably got this pair last year just because I really beat the living crap out of my last pair, which I think was the same version as this guy. I got some like ratcheting wrenches in here for, again, just getting in those awkward spots. Now, here is an interesting topic, is my Klein thermometer, which is the $50 one, which is much nicer, has the digital display on it and the laser. You can see it. As you can see, my hand here, here's the laser, and it's a laser thermometer. So it works really well, especially in those commercial settings where the vents are really high up, you can't get a ladder to it, and you just want a general idea of what kind of air it's blowing. Obviously not 100% accurate. You shouldn't walk up to a customer's vent that's just on the floor and do this. You should use the actual probe. One issue that people have with this is that it doesn't have a magnet, which normally I would agree, but I think I have lost a grand total of 13 or 14 temperature probes stuck in the ductwork because they had a magnet. Because I would just look at it, jot down the number, and completely forget about it. Maybe that's just a personal issue, but I needed to find a solution to stop losing these. So I bought a really expensive one, so I know that I will never leave it behind and that I have to hold it there and take it back down every single time. So that's been working well for me. I've had this for about 2 years now, still haven't lost it, knock on wood. And then got a couple zippers here. So in the transparent zipper here, I just keep my hoses for my manometer. And I forget what the brand is off of the top of my head, but this one is that more expensive. I think it's $150 now. It was $100 when I bought it at the time, but they keep on jacking up the price, and it's still really cheap plastic. That's why it's wrapped in electrical tape. If yours is not wrapped in electrical tape, you obviously don't use it enough for your trade. Down on the back patch here, I just keep my spare little screws, miscellaneous parts and whatnot, fuses, got some spade connectors, bunch of wire nuts, some hose clamps in there and whatnot, set screws and all that. The stuff that just makes it tedious to run out to the van for when you really believe that it should just stay in your bag. Everything actually used to not be in this little container. It was just rolling around in my bag and it was just driving me nuts. So I'll show you guys the brand here and just let me know if you want a link to this on Amazon. It fits really well in this Veto bag and it works well in my other Veto bag as well too, because it was really difficult trying to find one that would actually fit in here. That wraps up the front of the bag. We will transition to the back of the bag. So this is the little handy dandy bag that comes with the Special Ops edition that I was talking about. It comes with two actually. I gave the other one as part of a trade to my other coworker because I really only need one. And all I keep this for is just batteries, essentially. A lot of batteries. Be surprised how many customers call in for no heat and it's literally flashing replace battery on their thermostat, but they still want to call a professional to come out and do it. So I keep a lot of batteries in here. I got the Fluke 323 amp clamp meter. I think this would be perfect if it had a magnetic strip on it, kind of like the field piece does, and a way to read microfarads. Then I think this would be a great AC multimeter, but I just use it for amp draws, and that's about it. I think it's kind of limited on features, but it's very accurate, which is why I keep it in here. This would definitely be in my top 5 favorite tools, is this little flat bar. I've had this flat bar ever since I was a maintenance guy working at the last company and just using it for destruction. And in this job, using it just to do whatever I need to do, just prying on things, getting it apart, and especially on getting heat exchangers in and out. This tool has been a lifesaver. Highly recommend it rather than just using a standard flathead. So in this pouch, got a flathead, got a Malco A10, which is just kind of like a pointy bit to help you line up screws with the screw holes. Really good for when you're doing heat exchangers essentially, or just need to poke at something. Your coworker, apprentice, is starting to piss you off, you can poke them with this and they'll notice. And then just got a Phillips in here. Nothing special. Astro Mechanic has a magnetic tip. Just gotta keep the standard tools in here. And then this one I built is a pressure gauge that I use on boilers to check the pressures on them, because I don't know about you guys, but I find that a lot of those pressure gauges on boilers are not the most accurate. So it's always good to double check with your own. And then behind the flat bar, I keep my longest extension bit. I don't need to use it every day, but it does come in handy when you really need it. Hands down, you guys can argue with me all you want. I will die by saying this is the best 90 extension that I've ever had. because it's flexible, it has a 90-degree angle, and it's made by DeWalt. So it's high quality. I only had to replace this once because the bit actually got stuck in here. But all those other ones that I've used online that looked like very interesting toys just did not do the job, and they were flimsy. They broke right away. But this one is made for heavy duty. Highly recommended, especially when you're working on those furnaces where it makes no sense of how you have to take out the flame sensor. This comes in handy. In this front pocket here, I got a magnetic dish, really handy, especially when you have to deal with a lot of screws. Really nice to just throw all your screws in here. I keep pretty basic bits that I use pretty often in here, especially working on boilers, so that they're just kind of all ready to go and I don't leave any of them behind. Got some more ratcheting wrenches. I know I got quite a few in here. All this Mr. Beepers, the Klein one, just a non-contact voltage tester. What also actually came with that pack with this mirror was a magnetic stick, which is pretty nice if you drop something in a very bad place. This can get you out of a lot of trouble. Got a paintbrush for dusting, apparently. That's all I have to say about that. Got this temperature clamp as well. I use this mostly working on boilers to check the supply and return. It's really accurate. It's much faster than those cheap ones that I used to get. But luckily my lovely girlfriend bought me this and I'm very happy with it. Then I just got a little set of vice grips in here, which is just the right size to get bolts or screws out. Nothing too crazy and doesn't take too much space in the bag, luckily. As you can tell, the back looks pretty similar to the front as well. Up here, I think this is the only difference, is where there's just more slots to hold drill bits, and that's all that's really in there, some sockets and whatnot. This transparent bag is just more miscellaneous. I got some alligator clips, got more Allen keys, some more tape, some more extra bits that I need in a pinch. Clear one, I believe, is more miscellaneous as well. A door switch holder, which doesn't work on every furnace, but when it does, you feel really awesome using this. Typically, it always amazes the customer if they're watching. You're like, wow, that's a great idea. It's like, I know, amazing. And I just have more zip ties in here, nothing too special. The only downside to this bag though is that this one does not have the V-swap panels. And apparently I bought this bag just before the V-swap panel version of this came out. So I thought that this one was the V-swap panel version, and I was just prying and prying trying to get the panels out. And then I actually contacted tech support, and sure enough they said, nope, you can't take them out. It's not a V-swap panel version. So I was pretty highly disappointed at that aspect. So that's why I'm thinking about getting the MCP infrared with the side pockets, and it also has V-swap panels so that it's more customizable. So that's probably the bag that I'm going to be upgrading. But overall, if that one did not exist, I would say that this is still a really good bag, and I'm really happy with my purchase. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for upcoming videos. And remember to check out the other review videos that I mentioned earlier. I think it'll be worth your time. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next call.